Oh shit, you guys, we're about to play Uncharted 4. I played 30 minutes of Uncharted 4 last week. Short version, it's awesome. I am excited. It is definitely more, bigger, prettier Uncharted, and I'll put up a huge chunk of uncut footage here on my channel for you guys to check out, so you should subscribe so you don't miss that. Long version. They picked a really interesting chunk of the game for us to try out. I can tell it's not the most exciting or action-packed bit of the game. They chose it for a very specific reason. It shows off a lot of new systems that we will be using a lot in Uncharted 4.
Shit! There we go.
The first thing I noticed when I was playing, well, I mean, look at it. That's the first thing I noticed. It is crazy gorgeous. I kept stopping at different moments just to spin the camera around and take it all in. This is apparently Madagascar, and I loved it because it's very unique looking. It's different from the environments that we've seen before in Uncharted. Not just visually either. The biggest thing is that it's the biggest thing. This is a very open environment. A large portion of the demo is spent in a Jeep driving around. More about that in a moment. It's not a full open world by any means, but Naughty Dog definitely wants to give you a more detailed area to explore. There's only one right direction to go in, but finding treasures and little story items requires a bit more looking around than it used to. One of the treasures I found was behind a waterfall in this cave area and actually required a little bit of environmental puzzle solving. By which I mean crate pushing. It required a little bit of crate pushing. But that's where another new bit came in. Grappling hook. You guys, I love a good grappling hook in a game. Drake's is very versatile. You can yank stuff down towards you, you can swing on things. It definitely adds another level of Indiana Jones to Nate's toolkit that I really love. There are other little environmental details too in this new larger world, like these little cairns that you can swipe down. I got super obsessed with just knocking over cairns. Am I gonna get a trophy for knocking over every one of those cairns?
Actually, is there a trophy for knocking down every one of those cairns? You can say.
There is a trophy.
There is a trophy.
Boom.
Yes, there is. Scoop.
There are tons of extra contextual animations too. Those little bits that bring Uncharted to life have all been ratcheted up about 1,000,000 times. Like Nate didn't get into the Jeep the same way twice, and I left Sam and Sully in the Jeep under a waterfall and just watched them flail around as they got soaked. Let's talk about this Jeep. Let's talk about driving around freely in an Uncharted game. Not on rails, not on a weird jet ski, actually driving around this much larger world. It's pretty rad. It controls really well. I spent some time just pulling the e-brake and doing donuts in the mud.
Can't let you be the know-it-all like this.
Naughty Dog is really taking the idea of Uncharted's climbing and traversal puzzles and applying it to vehicles. So when you're driving the Jeep, you spend time trying to find the perfect route. You want to get to the top of the hill, but one way is too muddy, the other way has an unsafe drop. You have to find the optimal route, just like when Nate is exploring a room. One of the ways to take on the terrain in the Jeep is with a winch, or, as I have always called them, the grappling hook of cars.
All right, ready? Give it a shot.
Occasionally, you'll have to use the winch to get up a steep incline or take out a piece of the environment. It all feels very Arkham, except that a Jeep is not a Batmobile, so you have to attach the winch yourself. Sometimes that means Nate has to drag it up an obstacle with him and then find a way back to the Jeep.
There, that ought to do it.
So anyway, yeah, Jeeps, winches, very hot right now. About half of the 30-minute demo was spent jeeping around and winching it up, and then I made it to an enemy outpost.
What do we got? Military types poking around.
Nadine's guys?
Yep. Son of a bitch.
Time for some combat, and the core of the combat is mostly unchanged, but there have been a lot of stealth details added, which I love. You can sneak around in tall grass and hide around corners out of sight, and enemies now have this awareness meter to let you know whether they've spotted you. You can paint your targets and keep track of soldiers as they move around. I mean, none of this is new, right? We've seen this before, but it's new to Uncharted, and I love it. I love it because it does two things. First, it answers some of the criticisms about the series. You know, Nathan Drake as a mass-murdering bullet sponge. Sneaking around lets you take care of things with less gunfighting, right? The other thing is that it stops every area from immediately turning into a shooting gallery. You can still play that way if you want to, but you have much more of a choice about it now. Now, obviously, this was just a small piece of the game, right? And it was a very specifically chosen one, but I am loving what I've seen so far. It feels like they're taking a lot of the systems that they put into The Last of Us and seeing how they can meld them with the stuff that's already great about Uncharted's mechanics. It also feels like they've been paying attention to stuff in a lot of other games, right? Like a little bit of Arkham's vehicle stuff, a little bit of Metal Gear Solid's guided open world experience and stealth, right? It's all coming together super well. If you got any questions about my Uncharted 4 experience, I'll be hanging out here in the comments. I'm also on Twitter at acarboni if you want to hit me up there. I'm going to put the uncut gameplay here on my channel too, so you should subscribe to catch that and all the other stuff I do. You should also let me know, what is the better addition to Uncharted 4? Stealth or winches? What's better, winches or stealth?
Winches?
Winches or stealth?
Stealth. I'll go with stealth.
I did stealth. I went in, I killed everybody, didn't shoot a bullet. I don't need bullets.
Yeah, but did you need that winch?
I didn't need it.
You didn't need the winch.
You didn't need the winch to get up the hill.
You could have gotten there without the
To
winch.
get across the bridge.
I used it to get across the bridge.
Wow! Wow!
got that in
He's a
camera.
winch denier.
The truth comes out.
He's a winch denier.
No, I'm not a winch denier.
He's a winch denier.
She's a winch apologist. That's what.
Whoa! Winches or stealth?
Winches.
Winches all the way.
All winches.
Yes.
Yes.
You're an all winch man.
All winches. Stealth is first.
Well,
grass.
3 months ago, it's a heartfelt tribute to Hideo Kojima, and now it's fuck stealth.
I said stealth is 4. You could add the final.